Here with me is the Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 and I've been using it for a while now, and here is my review of the smartwatch. So the Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 comes in this white box, and you can see at the front here it is the color that I've picked, which is the golden color. The side here it shows the Galaxy Watch 6, and on the other side it shows the 40mm. So inside the box you are greeted with the watch itself, where the strap is already attached to it. Inside you have the first paperwork, which is the quick start guide, and the other side is the charger, where there is a USB-C connector to the wireless charging pad. So the first thing that struck me about the Watch 6 is the physical design of it. I like how aesthetically pleasing and simple the design is compared to the days where this is branded as the active variant. I'm someone who has been used to the rotating bezel, so this is the first time I am opting for the non-rotating bezel, or rather the digital bezel. And also the first time I'm opting for the smaller variant compared to the bigger one. Given that I've been using only the Galaxy Watch 1 and 3, this is the first time I've come across with the Android Wear version skinned with One UI on top of it, compared to the Kaizen version which is present in the 1 and 3. However, this is not the first year that the Galaxy Watch is opting for the Android Wear. I believe this is the third one, starting from the Galaxy Watch 4. So speaking about the software side of things, the way to set up the watch is to pair it with the Samsung Galaxy Wearable app, which I already have since I own the previous version of the watch. However, through setting up, I'm required to install the plugin, which is the Galaxy Watch 6 plugin, for me to use the watch. From what I recall, the setting up process is way faster compared to the Samsung Galaxy Watch 1 and 3, but it has been quite a while since I set up a new Galaxy Watch. And speaking of which, I believe this watch allows you to switch seamlessly if there is a need to between devices, instead of totally resetting it compared to back in the days. And as usual, after setting up and pairing with the watch with your phone, there is a software update for the watch. Like all other devices such as your smartphone, your tablet and so on, the watch is no exception either. So with my first time using an Android Wear, I kind of like it in the sense that there are more library of apps on the watch compared to the Samsung ones, and with the integration of Google, I could choose between Samsung Pay or Google Pay if there is a need to, but to me it doesn't really matter. It is widely accepted here as to where I'm living in. And one thing I like is the Google Map. So it is convenient, especially when walking. I could just have a quick glance at my wrist to see where am I, and the navigation on the watch brings me to where I need to without needing to take out my phone. It's available for walking and driving, but I feel that driving is not necessary on the watch, as it is better off for you to put your phone on a phone handle or looking at the screen installed on your car if there is one. One bad thing is that there is no inclusion of the public transport mode, so that is one thing where I cannot really just have a quick look on the watch. I hope that will be added in future, but that is between Google and Samsung as to whether they want to implement that feature or not. So moving on to the next thing which I like about the watch is the notification. So it is kind of handy where I could pick what kind of notifications I want to be allowed on the watch or not. With the Samsung Galaxy app, it supports all the apps if I'm not wrong. There are no exclusion of any of the applications, and the notifications are quite prompt. There is no delay in terms of what you receive on your phone versus what you receive on the watch, and I feel that it is very convenient to quickly look at your watch and see, oh, there is a notifications, and you could actually reply on it as well. However, there is a little bit of a downside for the reply, which is, for example, Telegram. I could see like a couple of messages, say there are 6 lines of messages on my watch, and if I were to reply them and press send, the moment I hit send, all the previous messages are gone. So there can't be a continuous conversations where I could reply multiple lines on the watch. I get that the whole idea of replying on a watch is to have a quick reply, and in terms of the keyboard, I'm used to the Galaxy Watch 1 and 3 keyboard, which is the 4x3. This is the QWERTY keyboard. And if I were to tap on the individual keys, the keys are rather small, and given that this is the smaller variant, the space is really tiny. However, there is the swipe gesture for you to type easily, and I feel that that gesture is very convenient and pretty accurate in terms of all the common words that I want to type. So the next thing I use the watch is the health aspect of it, or particularly for running. And one thing I noticed is that the watch is pretty consistent. However, the start and end point that I ran is exactly at the same point, but the watch detects that I do not start and end at the same point. Based on what I searched on the internet, the place that I ran is 888 meters, and what is clocked on the watch is there's a difference of around 100 plus meters. But it doesn't really matter for me since I'm not training or I'm not using for competitive purposes. Other than that, there's one good thing I like compared to the 1 and 3, which is the location lock on. So the UI actually gives a vibration feedback as to when the location is locked on, and it actually shows you text compared to 1 and 3 where they only show you a small icon at the top where it is either blinking or it has stopped blinking with a green light. So an update of the GPS situation, when I tried to record a video of it, it apparently will not lock on the GPS at all. Compared to when I was running, it actually locks on like between 5 to 10 seconds perfectly for all 3 laps that I tried to run. So I guess it really depends on where you are perhaps. I'm not too sure what's the reason behind the inconsistency in terms of locking on the GPS. And one more bad thing I noticed about the watch is that the way to stop a run is that you have to swipe to the right and press the stop button or the pause button, which is a 2-step thing compared to like just directly pressing on it or maybe directly pressing the button to stop the running. So I thought that is a little weird since we are so used to the digital watch where you just press start and stop, or even a stopwatch where you just press a click to stop. So the last thing I want to talk about is battery life. So I was expecting the watch to last me about like 3 days of usage based on day 1 of using it. So I thought like just multiply by 3, but could use the watch for only 2 days before I required to charge the watch again. But on the bright side, there is fast charging, so it takes slightly above 1 hour to fully charge the watch, which I think is not too bad compared to what I'm used to with the Galaxy Watch 3. It takes more than 2 hours to fully charge the watch. Other than that, the price, this thing costs slightly above $400, and I believe this watch does go on sale. So if it does go on sale and it goes to like around 300 plus, I think this is a not too bad of a deal, especially if you are someone who is new to the whole smartwatch thing. And depending on the variant that you get on a watch, you get the different colors, whether it is the classic or the regular version. And also there is the LTE version where you could use the watch standalone if there is a need to. But in my opinion, I still feel that the watch is still best using together with the phone. And of course, the price just keeps going up and up, from the Wi-Fi version to the LTE version to the classic version to the classic LTE version. Oh, and one more thing about the watch is the strap. So now there is a redesign of the strap where taking out is kind of the same compared to the old ones, but putting it back in is way easier on the new one compared to the old one because you have to align the holes to the watch for the old ones. However, both straps are compatible with one another, so if you have the old strap, you could use it on the new one, and the new one, you could use it on the old one as well. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, do give it a like, do comment down if any opinions, and do subscribe for future videos like this. Thanks for watching!